What's happening, everybody? And once again, it's time for At Home with the Crossover. I'm your man, Big T, alongside the usual cast of characters, but tag team partners. We start with the First Lady, the Doctor, Mama. TP is in the house. TP, what's going on?
Blessings to everyone. Blessings. Hate to Radar for last week. Hate on Radar for last week. Hate.
And then we got our man, Bro Mel, the Elon basketball legend. And he's here with us again. Brother Bro Mel, what's going on?
Hey, glad to be in the show. God bless, man. Glad to be with you guys again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad to have you. And then we got the man that brings the Ag swag to the show as usual. Aggie P is in the house. Go ahead, man. Hit us with it.
Aggie pride is worldwide.
It's
All the way down to North Carolina Central University radar. I couldn't wait to get here tonight. Let's do it.
Y'all didn't have to embarrass the boys like that. Y'all didn't do that. And then we got Radar Charles, as usual, keeping things together, making sure we on point. Radar, what's going on?
You know what, Big T? Narrow is the way when you decide to give me a chance to come my way. You know what I mean? I'm tired of waiting on these Aggie Big P. Big T, I'm better than that, man. Come on now.
Better than that. Okay, all right.
I'm
Hey,
better than that.
and then we got the man that's keeping us on point with the buffers and the in and outs and all that stuff. We talking about one of the biggest Eagle fans I know. Sorry about what happened last night, Bird. None other than Birdman is in the house. Bird, what's going on?
It's been up and down sports week for me. My Demon kids are undefeated, but we got our tails spanked last night.
And then we got the Cowboy fan that I know has been giving him all kinds of fit today, texting him and all that stuff. And he's here to break down Major League Baseball as we're right in the thick of the playoff race, talking about stats. What's going on?
What's up? What's up? I smell the leaves falling. My favorite time of the year. I love it. I love the fall. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
But go ahead and break things down for us. Let us know, because I know the Cardinals are red hot. They 16 in a row, I believe. So
They have
give us the
116,
update, man.
They have 116 in a row, but I'm gonna start today's show off with a theme for you all, something a little unusual. And the theme is there's always a surprise in baseball. And what do I mean by the surprise? Well, I'll start off by giving you a name. The Los Angeles Angels were eliminated from playoff contention last Tuesday against their division rival, the Houston Astros. So I looked at the starting pitching line on who was pitching the next day, and I saw a name that jumped out off the page to me. Jansen Junk. I'm not making it up. Jansen Junk took the ball for the Angels on Wednesday afternoon against the Houston Astros.
Was he
And
throwing
Jansen
junk?
He's a 26-year-old right-hander from Seattle, Washington, went to the University of Seattle. He had been thrown away like junk by the New York Yankees at the trade deadline. They traded him away to the Angels for their then ace, Andrew Heaney. They got Junk in return. Junk pitched his first major league start against Houston. He gave up a home run on a pitch that was not his junk. It was a fastball, and it was demolished. It was 2-0 Astros in the first inning. And Mr. Junk just put his head down inside and was like, oh boy, here we go. It's going to be a long game. But guess what? Junk settled in the game. He used his junk pitches effectively. He used his slider and his curveball. And he went 4 innings for the Angels. He only gave up 3 earned. The Angels lost the game. Granted, they lost 5-2 in 12 innings. Yeah. But the moral of the story is one man's trash is another man's treasure. Or in this case, one man's junk is at least another man's starting pitcher. And moving on to other things, the Cleveland Indians finished their last home game as the Cleveland Indians yesterday afternoon. They played a pretty decent game. They won 8-3. Cal Quantrill, the starting pitcher for the Indians, got his 8th win of the season to move him to 8-3. Pretty weird stuff right there. But another weird thing in the game that happened is Kyle Zimmer of the Kansas City Royals was pitching against his brother, Bradley Zimmer. tried to get ahead with a fastball, and bro knew it was coming and smacked it in the right field pavilion. And the Indians end up winning 8-3. I thought that was a great moment there. I actually saw another great moment with the Philadelphia Phillies, who are actually 3 games back in the loss column, not because they didn't win the series against the Orioles and the Pirates, but because they lost 1 game apiece to the Orioles and the Pirates. And the Braves won both of those games that the Phillies lost. They won on both of those days. So now the Braves headed into this series with the Phillies are 2.5 up. Phillies got to win every game to have a chance this weekend. So their backs are against the wall. But Shelby Miller pitched against Brad Miller of the Philadelphia Phillies. Shelby Miller of the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was Miller on Miller crime. And the announcers had a great time with that. That was another great moment I saw last week while I'm just going through all the games before the season ends.
Yeah.
And one more thing. The New York Yankees are, like I said, the most bipolar team in the major leagues. They went out there last week. They played the Indians. They got drubbed. Then they come out and they sweep the Rangers. And then they go to Boston, and Giancarlo Stanton absolutely just pulls a once in every 50-year performance. And he drove in 10 runs up in Beantown at Fenway. And he joined a list of Ruth and Mantle as the only other 2 players to drive in 10 runs. And they were all on homers in Fenway.
Hey, we don't want to hear no more about the Yankees.
They have the first wild card spot. It's not over yet. They play Toronto for 3 games. Starting tonight, they have the 3 best pitchers Toronto has. They're only 2 up on Toronto. But I do think they'll do just enough to get to the playoffs. I really believe they will because Garrett Cole is pitching. And
well, I hope you're wrong. See, that's why you locked.
He has had an absolutely. But yeah, Max Kepler. This is an all-star outfielder for the Minnesota Twins. The guy has not had a good season. He's hitting .218 for the Twins this year. He only had, I think, 17 homers going into last week's matchup against the Cubs. And he hit 2 in the National League ballpark to bring him to 19. So I know he's praying just for 1 more homer so he can get 20 and collect a little more money on that paycheck this season. I know he wants 1 more. And on the last one I want to conclude on, yes, the St. Louis Cardinals are hotter than the solar system, the moon, and the stars right now. And they went up there to Chicago this past weekend, and they swept their division rival, the Cubs, right out of Wrigley. They came from behind in the last 2 games of that series, and they finished with the Milwaukee Brewers. So looking like going down the stretch, the Giants are going to win the division. I hate to say that so much right now.
Yeah, I know you
do.
But
they don't have anybody left on their schedule that probably could beat them. They play the Diamondbacks and they play the Padres, who are playing for literally nothing at this point because they've already been eliminated. And they probably don't want to help the Dodgers either. So the Giants will probably win this division. The Dodgers have the Padres and the Brewers. I believe that the Dodgers will match up with St. Louis come next Tuesday in a game that I will be firmly on the edge of my seat praying we don't lose to St. Louis.
1 loss.
Because you don't want the hot team going in the playoffs. You don't want the hot team. So that being said, the Arizona Diamondbacks are to blame if the Dodgers season comes to an end soon. And that is your surprise in baseball for the week from Isaac. Stats.
Hey, Stats, thank you, man. We appreciate it. For all you baseball lovers, you got all the information right there. Our man Stats always keeping us up to date on what's going on in the MLB. Thanks a lot, Stats. We appreciate it.
Take care, everybody. Go Dodgers.
All right, Stats.
See y'all. Go Cowboys. How about them Cowboys?
I told you to save that. I told you to save it. I told you to save it earlier today. I told you to save it.
I saved it till the end. I had to wait for the right moment, Birdman. I had to wait. How about that?
He saved it till the end. Appreciate it, Stats.
See y'all later.
All right, everybody. And listen, together, we are the tunnel crew watching everything that happens inside and outside the tunnel, leading to the lines of competition in the world of sports. And we're going to jump from the Major League Baseball report by Stats to our hot topics. It's the hottest stories of sports. May not be what everybody else is talking about, but it's the things that we, the tunnel crew, want to talk about. And we kick off tonight with college football because college football is big. The ACC in particular, NC State had lost 8 straight games to Clemson. coming into Saturday's game when number 9 Clemson took an L. Their second L in the month of September. They're now 2-2. They lost the game 27-21. Was it in double overtime? I believe it was in double overtime. 27-21 in double overtime. That snapped Clemson's 36-game winning streak versus unranked opponents. And like we said, State snapped their 8-game losing streak to Clemson. Question to the Tunnel Crew, is Clemson in trouble? Because they cannot score points. Their offense is, defense is really good. Their offense is not good.
Yeah.
I think that's an easy answer. Go ahead, Brother Mel.
They're in trouble.
Yeah.
Their offensive line. Their offensive line, they don't have a good offensive line. They can't run the ball. They're in trouble.
So they in trouble.
Yeah, they're in trouble.
I didn't get to see the game, Big T. I was in Aggie Stadium.
You was at Aggie Stadium?
Yeah, but I was keeping up with it on my phone. I was just very surprised, man.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a close game, but not that close.
Yeah.
Clemson maybe in the fourth quarter pull away, maybe a couple touchdowns, but hey, adversity, that's what they have now. How can you bounce back?
Yeah, and they don't really have a good running game. Their running game is really non-existent right now.
Yeah, exactly.
The quarterback is trying to do too much. They got a good squad, but they're just not clicking right now.
Yeah. Hey, Radar.
Hey, Big T.
Real quick, you got 30 seconds.
This reminds me when Duke and Carolina didn't have a good team. And Wake Forest was leading the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at the standings, lo and behold, Wake Forest is leading the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought it?
Well, hey, y'all. First segment down. We got more to come. I know you're enjoying it so far. When we come back, there'll be more of At Home with the Crossover.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. Be sure to catch this live at-home version of the show every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. You can watch all the members of the Tunnel Crew on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and tell all your friends about it. Catch us every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. for live At Home with the Crossover. And then on Thursday nights, you can join us for our original day and time for the original audio version of the show, and it can be found on WLJFradio.com. You can also download the WLJF 100.7 app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. That's Thursday nights at 7 p.m. All right, let's jump back into the hot topics here, and we talked about Clemson's struggles. We're going to stick with the ACC for a minute. Number 21, and not number 21 anymore, but number 21 at the time, UNC went down to the Mercedes-Benz Dome, and Atlanta, Georgia Tech put something on them. sacked him 8 times, forced 3 turnovers, and Jeff Sims, the quarterback, rushed for over 100 yards on Carolina, and he was zipping that ball too. He looked good. Looked like Cam Newton in his younger days when he could throw and run and do all that stuff. And Carolina lost the game. They're now 0-4 in their last 4 road games versus as a ranked team versus an unranked opponent. Carolina at the beginning of the season was a dark horse playoff contender by a lot of experts and picks. A lot of people had them winning the Coastal and possibly giving Clemson fits. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. 1-2 now. Carolina, they in trouble?
Well, yeah, I think they may be in trouble. I think they may be in trouble. First and foremost, it's too many turnovers. Quarterback trying to do too much. Defense not as strong as it has been. And you look at the many turnovers that they have given up in those 2 games that they lost, and they always have had trouble with running quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
When they had running quarterbacks, they have always had trouble with them.
Yeah.
It's just, they got to cut down on the turnovers, and then the point is that they putting too much in the quarterback hands to make all the plays, which they got some good running backs, and they're not utilizing.
Yeah.
That's what I see. I done seen all 4 games they done played.
Hey, TP, you got thoughts on Carolina?
Well,
they got embarrassed.
I was saying that, the Aggies, we have Daryl Johnson.
Uh-huh.
The Panthers team.
Uh-huh.
So I know that Radar is really hating if the audience is shaking his head. But Radar, he's at a place that you're not. So he's aspiring and he's trying to achieve his dreams. So you can't mark somebody for what they're doing on their dreams because you're not there on the football field. But as we move forward, I'm just really, it's kind of going towards the question of the day, but I'm just really kind of getting impressed with the Panthers. They made a big quarterback change.
Uh-huh.
And they just kind of seem to me like they have just realigned some things, which of course is going to come when you have a new owner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still kind of still saying new because I know he's still finding his way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So those are the things I kind of see with the Panthers I'm impressed about.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Anybody else?
Let me throw this out to you, Big T. You talking about Clemson earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Clemson can possibly lose another 2 to possibly 3 games on their schedule.
Yeah.
Just looking at their schedule, they can lose against Louisville. They can lose against Wake Forest.
Uh-huh.
The 2 that's up in the air is Boston College and Pitt.
Yeah.
Other than that, the disappointing to me is Florida State.
Yeah. Well, and another thing about going back to Clemson, like you were saying, they're out of the top 10 for the first time since 2015. Think about that, y'all. It's 2021. These guys have not been out of the top 10 in the AP poll since 2015. That's 6 years. That tells you they struggling, And we're talking about September, and they're already out of the top 10. So, Radar.
A good point. You bring up a good point. But remember, guys, what can they do on defense? They can score. And you think Dabo ain't getting ready to figure out a way to score on special teams and on defense and beat Wake Forest, Boston College, and Louisville? Okay. Now we talking about Wake Forest is 4-0 right now, Big T. Anything can happen. Think about that, Big T. If Wake Forest is 4-0 right now, and even Alabama right now playing by the skin of their teeth, anything can happen. Them boys can rattle off wins for the rest of the season, not be a threat.
Big T.
Shake it up.
Yes, sir, Aggie P. Let's move on to you.
I know that we're talking about all the in trouble and everything, but really this is good for football.
Yeah,
it's good for the programs. Every football team is going to have adversity.
That's right.
The key thing is we're getting ready to see how good of a coaching staff these teams have.
Yep.
To get these guys to come together.
Yeah.
Get over this adversity and come back to be the type teams that they were before. It's just going to show you how difficult it is to be school like Alabama. They can
That's
come
right.
in and do it year in, year out.
Yep.
It really, that just does not really, not really supposed to happen.
No, it's not easy.
Right, it's not easy. So what we seeing now, I know it's a shock to everybody because we're used to seeing, what's my man, Trevor throwing the pass, and, they winning all the games, and UNC, winning all the games. But this is good. I mean, this is good. It's kind of like when A&T lost their first 2 games. I didn't like it, but I told everybody, I said, hey, this is good.
It's good.
You really got to come together and say, okay, guys, look, we got to turn this thing around, or we're gonna be the laughing stock of the conference.
Exactly.
So in the weeks to come, we will find out.
Well,
and really made of.
Well,
that was my biggest thing. That was my biggest thing was that, for Clemson, you could really see how the team was once the quarterback was gone. So I know we call him Sunshine. So once Sunshine left, it was like, what is Clemson really made of? And this is their time. And yes, the Aggies are like that too. They lost a lot of players. And Radar, you can hate all you want, but they lost a lot of players. But here's the thing. It's also about when the transfers come in, the freshmen come in, and we're trying to build it back. So, I know Radar is wearing blue for all of our listeners who can't see, because he really does have that Aggie pride. And I think he forgets that he's paying the Aggie tuition. But, hey, even the Aggies can take on Clemson, I believe. So, you never know. People didn't think that we could do great with Carolina and Duke, and we came again. So you can't disqualify us out. You never know.
That's right.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that for the record. A&T versus Clemson right now. And if they beat them, absolutely. Showed up. You showed up. You beat Clemson.
Hey,
I would love that.
Real quick, just to wrap up how the ACC is looking, like Bromell said, Florida State is now 0-4 for the first time since 1974, y'all. They got beat 31-23 by Louisville. And looking at the rest of the ACC landscape, Boston College is sitting out there at 4-0. Wake Forest is sitting out there at 4-0. Duke, surprisingly, because they had that ugly loss to open the season to Charlotte, they 3-1 now. Virginia Tech is 3-1. I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that's playing some good ball, and it's not going to be easy for Clemson because State, in a sense, has a 2-game lead on them now because they have to not only have State lose, but State has to lose twice because State has the tiebreaker with them. They can't finish tied with State. State needs to lose 2 more games. So State, in a sense, has a 2-game lead on Clemson now. So it's going to be tough, Hey, on a good note for Clemson, though, I did see our guy out there, Peyton. I saw him. I saw the big number 55 out there running around. So it's good to see Peyton out there. And hey, and he can always say, hey, the defense, we doing our job.
You better not go on camera and say that, though. It's a team effort now, man.
It is a team effort. That's right. Hey, nationally, number 16 Arkansas pulled off the upset over number 7 Texas A&M. That smashed all of us in the picks because we had to pick that game and everybody picked Texas A&M. So that smashed all of us. So that tells you how big an upset that was because nobody had Arkansas winning that game. Then, of course, number 2 Georgia took care of Vandy 62-0. Those 2 teams hook up this week. Number 12 Notre Dame got 2 pick sixes and a kickoff return to beat up on Wisconsin in that game, 41-13. And then, of course, A&T took care of business over the rival Central Eagles, 37-14. Hey, college, this wraps up the college for now. What do y'all think about any of those games? Aggies, have at it.
Well, I think the Aggies have said enough. I mean, bring on my guy. I mean, you already know. I'm not going to sit here and keep. I'm just not that type of person, Big T. But
so you're not going to just keep rubbing it on him.
I've already said my piece with Radar. I'm going to let him and TP go at it.
Well, guess what? I am. So what I'm going to say is, okay, you've been hating on the Aggies all this time. It is no longer a rivalry between us and Central no more. The players have said it. Now, for 2 years, Not only did Central try to put a casket out there and bury an eagle, they got buried because they couldn't even score on the scoreboard. And this is the first time in what, 3 years, I think, Aggie, that they finally scored on the scoreboard, but they still lost. In the words of Club Corbett, and Club Corbett, of course, as we all know, is Corbett Gym. In the words, when a player is playing basketball and they get 6 fouls, and Aggie P know, that's probably why I'm seeing the smile. What they think, the music they play, they say, go sit down.
Go sit down.
That's what I'm going to tell these Eagles. Go sit down.
Go sit down.
And Radar, go sit down.
You see what I'm saying, Big T? I don't have to say a thing.
Hey, it was a bad week for Eagles. I mean, Bird, your Eagles, the Central Eagles. It was a rough week for Eagles.
Well, at least my Eagles actually won a championship. Their Eagles haven't won a
Back
championship.
to the time capsule again. We going to the time capsule again, Aggie P. Can we talk about 13 years ago when the Packers won?
Oh, man.
All right, hey, y'all, let's step on to the NFL and let's talk about our Carolina Panthers because they are 3-0 after their 24-9 Thursday night football beatdown over the Houston Texans last week. Sam Darnold passed for 304 yards, rushed for 2 touchdowns, but the defense has been the story because they are currently number 1 in NFL. Listen to these numbers, y'all. They're number 1 in yards allowed, number 1 in sacks, number 1 in first downs allowed, number 1 in third down conversions allowed, and they're number 2 in points allowed. So through 3 games, the Panthers defense is doing some unbelievable stuff. And that fewest yards allowed that they're number 1 in, it's the first time since 1992 that a team has given up that few yards in the first 3 games. The 1992 Philadelphia Eagles were the original ones that set this number. And but there were some negatives. Christian McCaffrey got hurt. He had a hamstring injury, and he's going to miss several games. And then first-round draft pick cornerback J.C. Horn got hurt, was placed on IR. But as we look at this defense and the historic kind of things that they're doing right now, remember back in the 2020 draft when the Panthers became the first team in modern draft history to use every pick they had on defense? They picked all defense in the 2020 draft. And it's paying. And then their first pick of this draft, they took a cornerback. So really 8 picks in a row, they went defense between the 2020 draft. Could that be why their defense is playing so well? I mean, they've invested heavily in it. Yes. What do y'all think about the Panthers in this start?
I mean, yes, if that's where you put your money at, Big T, you do expect for that to eventually come around and pay dividends for you. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's one thing I was going to mention about when we was talking about the college and, you know, Clemson being down and some of those schools.
Yeah.
You have to have a person on your staff that is in charge of recruiting. I mean, they have to have a special gift.
Yeah.
To see, you know, players that's going to come in and fit into the culture of the team. And play well. I mean, some teams have it. The Giants don't have it. I don't know where they get these guys from. I mean, but you know, they're doing a good job over in Carolina, and that's very big. If they spend a lot of money there, they're getting the dividends from it now. Yes.
They are.
You know, you're right on that. And what you see with them as well is that, man, they got speed. You know, they have speed, man. If you watch that defense, man, they are just flying around. It's, you know, it's like they have a different game plan every week. You know, and defense is really carrying them right now. Even though, you know, they're scoring a few points, but that defense is carrying them.
Yeah.
You know, but they bring in some very important veterans too.
Yeah.
I think they hit some home runs on the veterans they brought in on defense that really helping to teach them young guys. Man, it's gonna be scary, man.
All right, everybody, listen, make sure to catch this live at home version of the show every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Go to YouTube and log on to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Once you get there, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. That's every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. YouTube. And then on Thursday nights, 7 p.m., you can catch the original audio version of the show. And you can find that online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. When we come back, we'll wrap up the hot topics and we'll jump into the question of the day.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
100.7 WLJF.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. Be sure to catch this live edition of the show every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. That's every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. live. And then on Thursday nights at 7 p.m., you can catch us online at WLJFradio.com. That's the original audio version of the show. You can also listen to that version on the 100.7 WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and the iTunes Store. And that can be heard Thursday nights at 7 p.m. All right, TP, any social media comments, shout outs, anything that the fans and listeners are saying?
Well, we have a couple of things. We have Raleigh Fuller that's saying Aggie Pride.
My man.
Aggie Pride.
Big
We have
tree.
Miss Ann Mitchell, who is saying, good evening, crossover team. Again, I say great homework. Keep up the good work. I enjoy the show. God bless you and your family. And we have a lot of smiling emojis. We have, of course, the cross. I think it's a Bible in here. We have kneeling.
All right.
We have hallelujah. Praise the Lord. So we have a lot of good emojis. So, yes, wonderful things from our audience. Wonderful things. So we also want to recognize our audience here on 100.7.
Yes.
WJMF. LF, so WLJF 100.7. I'm sorry, but we want to thank everybody and for your full support for our show. So we truly thank you.
Hey, I've done that before. it's
I know, right?
Boy, you get them letters tossed up, boy. It's like alphabet soup.
I'm glad she didn't say AT&T.com.
It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful.
All right. Well, thank you to all the listeners for all of your comments and for your support. We appreciate it. We need it. All right. Just a couple of quick mentions here before we jump to the question of the day. A couple of NFL records were set over the weekend. The Arizona Cardinals missed a field goal. And for the Jacksonville Jaguars, it was a 68-yard field goal. Jacksonville had my man, Jamal Agnew, sitting back there in the end zone. He caught it in the back of the end zone, ran it out the end zone, and took it to the house 109 yards for a touchdown. That tied the NFL record for the longest return of any kind in the history of the league. I think 109 is all you can do because, I mean, if you do 110, you step it on the out of bounds line. So, so he tied the record for 109-yard return. And then Ravens kicker, Justin Tucker, set an NFL record with a 68-yard field goal at the buzzer. I mean, as the clock hit zeros, he kicked a 68-yard field goal against the Lions. That thing hit the crossbar and went over for the win, 1917 win. But here's what's crazy about it. So y'all know Tom Dempsey kicked the 63-yarder back in 1970 to win that game and set a record that lasted for like 43 years, okay? Until it was broken recently. You know who that was against? That was against Detroit too. And guess what? The score was 1917 for that game too. Wow. They lost this Sunday, 1917, to the Raiders on a 68-yard record field goal, and they lost in 1970 on a 63-yard record-setting field goal, 1917. How crazy is that? You can't make that up. If you showed that in a movie, people be like, man, nah, man, that's fake, man. That movie is terrible. Right. All right, let's jump on to our question of the day, because we talked about several teams early on in the show. We talked about Clemson and their struggles. We talked about, the Panthers and how good they look. We didn't mention some of we talked about, Texas A&M losing. We didn't mention, teams like Kansas City who got upset by the Chargers on Sunday. Patrick Mahomes throwing 3 interceptions in that game. There's a lot of teams out there that people expected to be at either better than we talk about Carolina. They were picked to, like we said, compete for a playoff spot in the national playoff and expected to compete with Clemson for the ACC, and they're struggling. Mm-hmm. So out of all, but we also talk about the Panthers, who 3-0, got a historic defense through first 3 games. Out of all this and anything else that we didn't mention, the question of the day is this: who has disappointed or impressed you the most in the first month of this football season, the early part of this football season? Most college teams have played 4 games now. The NFL, everybody's played 3. So we're about a month in. Who has impressed you or disappointed you the most out of everybody you've seen so far this season? I'm going to throw that out there to the Tunnel Crew. That's our question of the day.
Disappointed us, huh?
Can I lead off with one quick thing?
Sure.
I want to say that the Panthers have been impressive. They have really surprised. Like we said, defense, all those numbers, they don't lie. All those draft picks devoted to defense. I will say one thing, though. I want everybody to slow down. Like they say, hit the brakes, because they played a terrible Jets team week 1 who was 0-3. By the way, Aggie P, New York City 0-6 combined.
I appreciate that. I mean, I appreciate you just bringing it up right now. I mean,
I'm sorry, man.
Hey, it's okay. I'm built tough. I can take it. Come on.
But they played a bad Jets team. They played a New Orleans team that was, displaced because of a hurricane and dealing with COVID issues, had coaches out, players out. And then last week they played a Houston Texans team that is without Deshaun Watson, who's a healthy scratch every week, and they had the backup quarterback playing. So because the starter who took Deshaun's place was out. So those things taken into account, I mean, should we be thinking, okay, let's wait and see what they do against the Cowboys this Sunday? Because they play at Dallas, and Dallas is a little bit more formidable than those 3 teams right there.
Trap game. That's a trap game.
The trap game?
That's a trap game. On paper, the Panthers are supposed to beat the Cowboys. And I hate to say this, But after last night, the way they handled us, it's no way in the world. It's no way in the world that the Panthers are going to be able to win.
Here we go.
That with the Cowboys. It's no way. Micah Parsons is playing too good of football. And they don't even have, think about this. They don't even have all of their starters on defense. Most of them guys that they got out there are backups.
Mm-hmm.
And they playing that good of a ball with backups.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine that. You roll up into Dallas as the Panthers. You have no Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have your defensive player who was balling.
Mm-hmm.
And you think you're going to roll up in there and because, we puffing out your chest because we undefeated so far? Come on now.
Come on now.
Let's get to reality, okay? We said all that, okay? They're all professional players first and foremost, okay? Mm-hmm. Regardless of what their status may be in your eyes, the thing is that if you're at that level now, you should be able to go in there and play.
Mm-hmm.
And this what I don't like is that when you're playing a team, you're playing a professional team. Mm-hmm. You're not playing scrubs. Everybody's looking at the records, but when they played them, they had all the guys they had.
Yeah.
You got to give them the benefit of the doubt as well. They got the number one in the top 5 defense.
Yeah.
Oh, you look at that as well. They're playing good right now.
Yeah.
Until somebody bring them down. And it's always been that way. If you look at the track record of media trying to pump certain teams up, this happened with the Panthers when they went to the Super Bowl. Same thing happened every week.
Yeah.
Somebody they playing, they shouldn't win that because of what they're doing. You got to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a good game with the Dallas game, but Carolina got a defense. That's what's carrying them. It ain't the offense.
Yeah.
And you got to look at it. That's the way I look at it because we can all look at it and say, okay, who have they played? Who have everybody else played?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're impressed with the Panthers then.
I'm impressed with them right now because the way they're playing defense, they flying. They flying around. And I haven't seen anybody in the NFL team have been impressive like that in the last 3 games. And I'm going by the games that they played.
Yeah.
And you know what? To your point, bro, Mel, and this is something that Birdman always leaves out every game. They don't make dumb penalties. They play discipline. Mm-hmm. And they make plays. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They trying to get paid. Everybody on Dallas done got paid. They fat. They don't want to play. Everybody from Philadelphia done got paid. That's why Wentz got put out of Philadelphia. You can't pay them. Everybody in Carolina ain't got paid. Mm-hmm. So they trying to get paid. Right. That's why they winning, and they winning games that they supposed to win.
So are you saying you impressed? So you saying the Panthers are the most impressive team to you?
Most impressive.
Okay. All right.
But them Chiefs, they ain't making the playoffs, bro.
That's your most disappointing?
It's going to get hairy.
That's my most disappointing, too.
Uh-oh. Aggie P, tell us about it.
I mean, just the Kansas City Chiefs, man. I mean, my homie, that's my dude, man. I mean, he just throwing the ball. Like you said earlier before we came on the air, it was cute and fun when you was winning, but now you losing, you better keep your feet square. Look down the field. Don't be doing all that flipping stuff. Let's complete some passes and start back winning, man. I mean, I'm very disappointed in Kansas City.
Yeah,
I mean, you can say it's their defense, but I mean, the defense never really been a top defense.
No,
they was good enough to win, and I think they still are good enough to win.
Yeah.
But that offense, once again, there's that word, some adversity.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Big T, I think Andy Reid was looking at that playbook from Philadelphia. That's why he lost.
I just want to thank y'all for hyping
his Chiefs playbook and had a Philadelphia Eagle playbook.
I just want to thank y'all for hyping this up.
Like you said, that stuff, you throwing all these no-look passes and throwing across the grain, where they tell quarterbacks not to do. That's cute when you completing it and you winning. But now it's like, hey, bro, you got to go back to the fundamentals because you're throwing all these interceptions and stuff. Plus, I mean, the line still isn't protected. I mean, they're not as bad as they were against Tampa Bay in the big game, but they still aren't protecting him that well. Mm-hmm. And, they have been a disappointment to start. And let's not forget, they could be 0-3. because they could have easily lost the Cleveland game, the very first game of the season. They could be 0-3 right now.
Yeah. So it's hey, we still early in the season. They got work to do. Hey, they can still turn the season around. But I mean, hey, that adversity is going to really show what these teams are all about. Let's wait till about the end of October.
Yeah.
Hey, and real quick, I think Tom Brady took Mahomes' mojo in the Super Bowl. Heard it here first. He ain't been right since he lost that Super Bowl that night.
Hey,
I think people have the formula.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I just think people have the formula on Kansas City right now. You got to run the ball, keep them on the defense on the field. And Mahomes, like Aggie P said, you got to play straight up football. You can't be throwing them, look away passes and stuff like that. Hey, they're going to catch up with that too.
And Hill is getting double teamed. You got Kelsey. We got to find another playmaker.
Yeah.
In all actuality, though, what's funny, what I'm seeing is happening in football, especially on the NFL level. We come at the offensive line. Now, I played offensive line. These quarterbacks, you better be what's his name, Jackson out of Baltimore.
Yeah, DeMar Jackson.
You better be one of those type quarterbacks, because these defensive players, man, they are freak of natures, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a big guy on the offensive line, 6'4", 300 pounds.
Yeah.
You running up against a guy 6'4", 250, on a 4.3, 4.4, 40.
Yeah.
Trust me, that is a nightmare. I would rather go block a big old fat guy any day than block, man. Them slim guys is quick. They are nightmares, man.
Yeah.
So these quarterbacks better get with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Learn how to get that ball out of their hands quick and be on point and be accurate with their passes.
Yeah. TP, your most disappointing or impressive team so far? Who are you feeling?
Well, I was saying earlier that I do like the Panthers. I do like them. I tell you, Radar is just hating on me. I like the Panthers. You want to kind of go for your home state or your home team. And I do. What I would say, what I like is the fact that sometimes when you get an owner, they're so locked into the quarterback that you have that you don't see that your team needs to be restructured. So that's what I like, is that they just kind of restructured it and find out how they can get better. And of course, got my guy that, like I said earlier, Daryl Johnson, that Radar wants to hate on, who's an Aggie. And, but I just want to say, I'm going to be honest, I was impressed about the Cowboys.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Bird, real quick, who you impressed with, who you disappointed with?
My own team, but I can't really get too much into that because we up against a hard break.
All right, man. Hey, everybody, be sure to catch this live at home edition of the Crossover every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Once you get there, be sure to like, share, subscribe to the show. Then on Thursday nights, 7 p.m., catch the audio version. You can do that online at WLJF Radio. You can also download the WLJF app, which is both available on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. When we come back, it's time for the wrap-up.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, two locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
It's time now for the crossover wrap-up report. Let's send it back to the Tunnel Crew.
All right. Welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. It's time for the wrap-up report. Real quick story that came out. NFL announced a new scheduling format for Wild Card Weekend. You know, last year they did the Super Wild Card Weekend where they had 3 games on Saturday and 3 games on Sunday. Well, now they're going to have 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and a Monday night wild card playoff game. So that's going to be happening this playoff season coming up. So, hey, I think it's going to be good. All right, let's jump into the pick segment. And last week, the standings look like this. Me, Birdman, and Stats all went 3-1 to tie for first place, but the rest of the Tunnel Crew did pretty good too. Everybody else went 2-2, so not bad. Only 1 game behind. Overall standings look like this. I got 120 wins. Aggie P and Birdman are tied now with 108 wins. Radar and Stats are tied with 103 wins. TP has 97 wins. Bromel has 91 wins. All right, the games for this week. We went with extravaganza. 8 games. We're going to just pick all the good games this week. We got the college games for you. Number 8, Arkansas at number 2, Georgia. They're both 4-0. Number 7, Cincinnati at number 9, Notre Dame. They're both undefeated. Number 12, Mississippi, Ole Miss at number 1, Alabama. They're both undefeated. Then you jump to the NFL. We got the 3-0 Panthers at the 2-1 Cowboys. 3-0 Cardinals at the 3-0 Rams. 2-1 Ravens at the 3-0 Broncos. And the 2-1 Bucks at the 1-2 Patriots in the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick reunion game. Then the Monday night game. 3-0 Raiders at the 2-1 Chargers. Let's go ahead and jump on in here and see what we got, and we'll find out what everybody's looking at. We're going to start with Aggie P. Aggie P, go ahead and give us your picks, sir.
Yes, sir. I went with 3 college games. Georgia over Arkansas.
Okay.
Notre Dame over Cincy. And Alabama over Ole Miss.
Okay.
My 2 NFL games. I like that kid Parsons at that defensive end for the Cowboys.
Okay.
For the Panthers. And Tom Brady getting revenge against the Patriots.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and read Stats picks off. He took Georgia, Alabama, the Rams in the NFL, the Ravens, and the Buccaneers. All right, let's go ahead with TP. Give us your pick.
Okay, I have Georgia, Alabama, the Panthers, the Bucks, and the Raiders.
All right. Radar.
Well, all right. I got the Panthers, the Buccaneers.
The Rams.
Buccaneers, the Broncos, the Rams, and the Raiders.
There you go. That's exactly what you got, man.
I'm gonna take the lead this week, baby.
Bromel, give us yours.
I took Georgia. I took Cincinnati. Took Alabama, Panthers, and the Rams.
All right, Birdman.
I took the Panthers, the Rams, the Ravens, Patriots, and the Chargers, all NFL.
All right. And that leaves me. I took Georgia, Notre Dame, Alabama, the Rams, and the Broncos. All right. It's time for our shout outs or shut up and play candidates. Let's start with you, Queen.
I nominate Radar. He has been hating on me all last show, and he's getting it back today. So I'm going to tell him to shut up and do your show.
All right, hey, well, we're not gonna make you wait, Radar. We're gonna go ahead and jump to you, Radar.
You know what? I would like for TP to be quiet and show up for shows because she didn't show up last show, and I enjoyed it. I just wanted to let the audience know.
I have a young
and
child.
the crowd know.
I have a young child. You do not.
All right, Aggie P.
Man, shut up and play to my hometown Jordan Matthews Jets. Big T, check this out. Crosstown rivalry game. They lost. They have beat this team ever since 1969. And last Friday, this team going to come into our home stadium and I'm not saying beat them by a field goal. I made a couple calls like, what is going on down there? So shut up and play into the Jordan Matthews Jets.
All right.
I mean, 1969, Big T.
That's a long time, man.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hey, I just got to give a shout out to my Yankees, man. We played pretty good ball this weekend.
All right. Birdman.
Hey, shout out to Radar for feeding that energy. The Chiefs disappointed you. Well, we're going to disappoint them on Sunday, too.
All right. Hey, my shout out is to Grimsley. They're 5-0. Congratulations. Hey, that's a great show, everybody. We appreciate y'all listening. I'm your man, Big T, signing off and saying, no matter where y'all, look up and know that your creator's there. Until next time, see you, and we might want to be you.
That's all we have for you today. So be sure to join us next week for The Crossover. And remember, the Tunnel Crew don't play unless we have something to say.